California, stay away from here. Stay away from here now. Don't come in here.
What's in the box?
Not until you give me the
What's in
gun.
the fucking box?
My name's Tenma. Hi.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh!
Gentlemen, Lord Maulington, hello, it's the furry Englishman, addicted to Cadbury's chocolate buttons and lover of things shiny and rare. Today I'm here to answer one simple question. What is in the box? I've been given the beta versions of the Tenma and Pippa decks for review by the Oshi Push team. Thank you very much as always. And if you've ordered the beta decks yourself, they should be shipping this week. Otherwise, the Kickstarter stuff, that's looking to be around about May, assuming nothing goes wrong. So as an affiliate with Japanime Games, today's video is sponsored. And I'm going to separate this video into 3 parts. We're going to start off with the unboxings. Then I'm going to go through my thoughts on the game itself as a medium core card game enjoyer. And then I'm going to go through some questions and answers I had for Akiko, the VTuber representative of Oshi Push. I believe Akiko made the pitch for the game, and it's very much her passion project. This will include my honest thoughts on the project, the team behind Oshi Push, and why I decided to push. Spoiler, it's mostly positive, but I do share some of the concerns that I've seen others mention in the Japanime Games Discord, with some minor criticisms as well. So, let's start opening the boxes with my serial killer gloves. There's some fun facts of these decks, by the way. They come with a satin finish instead of the usual glossy stuff you get with other trading card games. Ooh, isn't that fancy? This is just for these beta decks, so the final version of the game will have a regular finish. It's also worth remembering that these decks contain some of the draft versions of the card art to showcase the work the artists put into the game. Japanime Games are very big on the whole no AI art in their products thing. And some of these cards will have an alternate version called the retail version, which I'll touch on later. First card is Pipkin Pippa, Yabbit Persona upgrade. Pippa is in her element here, shooting guns with a big grin on her face. Philippa Pipkin, a lesser Persona upgrade. Pippa is driving her RV with a smug look on her face. She's probably just run over a glowy. The golden 4 means how much income return Pippa gets after this upgrade, with the blue star at the bottom referencing how much influence or power the card has. Another Philippa Pipkin. Ooh, platform card, Sad Girl Company, the infamous nickname of FaZe Connect, and this very stylish card with medication and hospital beds resembling an asylum. Next card is Soul Exciting. I'm not sure what this is referencing honestly, but hey, beach episode. Clash reward, you may play a card with 2 or less on the platform for free. So a good value platform card if you're playing lots of small content cards, which Pippa would. Rapid Telly. Another platform card with 500,000 subscribers if you win it, so this is half the win condition. Sudden Clips. The Clash reward here is to return 1 content card from your trash to your hand, so this is good to offset card removal, or if you have a deck with a lot of discard effects. Click Clock, reference to TikTok I think. Full of style and colour this one. Aha, and here's the stinky rabbit herself. Pipkin Pippa, the Persona card, which is your deck leader. 3-bit income return, 4 influence, and you gain 1 bit when you win a clash over a platform. Mukbang stream. Nasa here, enjoying a handsome feast of sushi and other cool Japanese treats. 10 influence, and an activate effect which allows you to move the card to another platform. So you can board hop with this and potentially snipe platforms during the final phase. Another mukbang ASMR. Courtroom roleplay, with Pippa wearing the famous FBI outfit. 2 bits, 4 influence, gain 3 influence if opponent has 3 or more cards in their hand. That's pretty much always the case against most decks, so for 2 bits, this is a very high value card. Another courtroom roleplay. Hype. 1-bit action card, can only play during a clash. Yuri looking very happy and confident, showing off her great big Yuris. Give a content card on this platform, plus 5 influence for this clash. My time. Move one of your content cards to this place. A cute chibi shiffy Mishru, looking mischievous, being FaZe Connect's little troll VTuber. Another My Time. Let 'em cook. Strong card. High influence to its cost, the only caveat being it discards any content cards on the platform when you play it. If there's no content cards, then it has no downsides. Uruka and Leah are les maxing again. They can't beat the allegations. Birthday special. A super cute card of Pippa eating some birthday cake. 1 bit, gain free influence on an independent platform. So each platform has a type like the content and action cards do. Some are of the independent type, so this card is high value if you're an independent platform heavy deck. Watch along. More les maxing from the two Zoomers. A very cute card and an iconic staple of VTubing content. I've never seen this card played before, honestly. I'm wondering if there is a good use for it. We'll see as the meta develops, I think. React meta. React content is indeed the meta. A very cute chibi NASA card. Draw a card for each platform where you have at least one content card. An essential card in any Pippa deck, in my opinion. Pippa just PPs all over the place, so there's much value to be had with this one. Another React meta. Fundraiser. More chibi NASA. Discard the cards and gain 1 bit. Good for some board presence or emergency economy if you want to play something bigger. Marshmallows. Draw 1 card. A very mature, alluring Hakushika Iori here. Enjoying marshmallows with ice cream, I think she's got. And another marshmallows. Dropping cool. You can play this on any platform. For its cost, it's a weak influence card, but you are allowed to play it anywhere, despite the normal restrictions. So you can use it to snipe platform cards before your opponent can control the situation. A cool outfit on Tenma here, and she's in a good mood for a change. Another dropping cool. Debut stream. You'll see some of these cards have prototype art as it's meant to be proof of no AI usage in the game. This is a great card in Pippa's deck. You want it more for the discard effect as you can move Pippa to different platforms and get that class reward bit bonus. Another debut stream. Ooh, moldy bread. These references are incredible. Urika lives like a bit of a slob sometimes, and she once started munching on moldy bread without realizing it, becoming deathly food sick. Phase VTubers are normally immune to the effects of mold. You laugh, you lose. If there's no opponent tokens on the platform, you gain free influence. Cute chibi Tenma with Halloween accessories. I think Courtroom Roleplay is a better card than this, honestly. Gorilla Stream. You may play this on any platform. Chibi Leah with Halloween attire. I know the updated card art is Pippa in a gorilla costume, and it's only 1 bit. This card has a lot of synergy potential with the rest of Pippa's repertoire, like React Meta. Another gorilla stream. Big Cheese. This comes from the fact that FaZe talent Leah hates cheese. If you're dominating this platform, gain 1 token on this platform. There's so much character in this card, I love it. I love the reflection of Leah in the knife looking terrified. So this card is a cool trap card that may allow you to unexpectedly snipe a platform your opponent wasn't expecting, assuming you've got more content cards than they do on the platform. Continued gameplay. More Leah, playing Dark Souls I think in the background, but there's a dead Sakana, the fishman, the CEO of FaZe Connect, and Leah is enjoying some FaZe coffee. This is a pretty good card, and you get an influence bonus if you're dominating the platform. So yeah, dominating means you have more content cards on the platform than the other person. Another continued gameplay. Game flavor of the week. Ooh, I love the art on this one. So Iori is running away terrified from a little Mishru who has a knife of some kind, and I think NASA doesn't realize how much danger she's in, bless her. Another game flavor. Oh my god, it's Vomit Drawer. The most cursed of Pippa lore. Delete opposing content with 6 influence or less. Very good card removal. Another Vomit Drawer. Aha, Pippa the Ripper. Iconic card, and it's a must include in the Pippa deck. It's incredibly strong. Can't wait to see the full art version of this card. Pippa is still terribly embarrassed by this song. It's absolutely hilarious. Another Pippa the Ripper. And now let's look at the Tenma deck. Oh, I forgot to mention before, the decks come with these tokens that function as your bit counters. You've got the who is going first button here. And you can also use the bits to indicate how many wins on a platform you have. So there's 1 on the front side and 3 on the back. And it's cute how each one is themed like the VTuber. First card is Tenma Maemi, Mrs. Worldwide, enjoying a nice cup of sake. The lesser Tenma persona card, Mi-chan, her preferred nickname, also enjoying a drink of alcohol. If we compare side by side, the cost difference is huge, but you get more economy per turn with Mrs. Worldwide, more influence, and a stronger clash reward. Another Mi-chan. Heartbreaker House, a platform card where you need only 1 win. Very interesting. Aha, Faith Weekly. A weekly recap show run on the official Faith channel by Vtuber TCG. 600,000 subscribers, so if you win, it's 60% of the win condition. Normally this and one other platform, and you've won the game. So you need to win a clash over it 4 times to claim it, however, so you need to commit an awful lot to the board. Aha, Historical Lion. My card. I'm very touched at having my own reference in the game. Thank you very much, Oshi Push. This is a great platform card for control decks. It allows you to delete a content card of 2 or less in play, no matter which platform it's on. Gamble Punch, which is a reference to streaming site Kick, I think. Yappers, the thing VTubers do a lot of. High subscriber count, a lot of clashes to win, but you get a bit each time you win, so this is a fantastic platform for economy. Aha, now we've got Tenma Persona card herself. Clash reward, draw a card. 3-bit income, full influence power. So yeah, Tenma's whole shtick is to draw a shitload of cards. Microphone upgrade. Give Persona 5 influence and draw 2 cards. Super high value, must include in a Tenma deck, I think. Got some cute NASA art. Face Connects ASMR Queen. Updated model stream, a great reference to Leah here with a 2.0 model. You get 2 bits back if you have an upgraded persona, so a high value at 3 bits, 8 influence potentially, but normally too situational, I'd say, to see much use. Another one, Mama cameo. Leah's mother is an absolute riot. Everyone loves it when Leah's mother appears on stream. She would probably be Phase Connect's most popular VTuber if she officially joined. Puzzle Hand Cam. Urika the Nerd with a Rubik's Cube. I don't see much use with this one. VTuber Coffee with a cute Mishru enjoying some coffee from Canada's greatest coffee company. A second VTuber Coffee, Succumb to Cringe. Great card effect, but I love the art in this one as well. It kind of reminds me of Ed, Ed and Eddie, starring Pippa and Leah, 2 of the cringiest VTubers I know, having a good old laugh together. And another one. Confessional stream. Leah looking uncharacteristically regal. Pure and mature here, referencing the confessional stream role-playing VTubers often enjoy doing, including Leah herself. Buff another card for influence when played. Another confessional stream? Uwu. I like Uwu. A Lolly Urika, the value in this card comes more from the discard effect, which allows you to move a persona to different platforms. Moving your persona to different platforms is really important in the game, so many decks will probably involve this one. Another Uwu. In character, Iori in a cool butler's outfit. A very, very strong action card. With an upgraded persona, it's 1 bit, gains 7 influence. So this is great for surprise attacks in decks that can use it. Another in character. Mega Capping. An angry Moomy about to give Urika and her many caps a scolding. Again, I love the flavour and lore of some of these cards. It's a very fun card. Moomy is one of Phase Connect's talent managers. Another Mega Capping. Origins video. Here we go. My Tenma deck is built around this card. Cute Pippa with many carrots. Gain 2 influence this round for each experience card you play. Tenma is full of experience cards, so for 3 bits, you can pump this quite strong. Another Origins video. Sponsorship. Very powerful card, yet it's easily counterable. You spend 1 bit, gain a clash reward, get 3 bits when applied to a content card. This is an essential economy card in so many decks. Any deck that can play this will probably have at least 2 copies in it. Royalty Song. An introspective face on Urika here. Kickback, gain 2 bits. You get kickback effects when you lose a clash over the platform where the card is played. I think kickback is the weakest card effect at the moment. You won't really see it played because the kickback cards are weak in influence relative to their cost. Anniversary celebrations. A throwaway card to get some economy, in my opinion. Nice art on this though, with the face talents in lovely yukatas. Donathon, with a little baby Mishru. This is a fun card. You can activate it once per round to get 1 bit for each platform, where you have at least 1 content card. You might want to play this in Pippa's deck more than Tenma's, honestly. Charity event. For a kickback card, this one isn't too bad, because it's only 2 bits, and at the influence of 4, it's not atrocious. Instant replay. Nice Yuri legs here. Peak. Synergizes with independent platforms. Gain 10 influence this clash on your persona, and get 2 bits back if this is on an independent platform. Plenty of use for this card. Rage Game. Angry Tenma in her element here with her old microphone. Discarding opponent's hands is a very strong effect. So for the big cost, the card is weak influence-wise to make up for it. I wonder who Tenma is screaming at here. Another Rage Game. Ooh, fuck you. Great cards. Must include in the Tenma deck in my opinion. Gives a persona or content influence equal to the cards in your hand. There's a hand limit of 7. Tenma has lots of card draw, so there's perfect synergy. And there's cute art of Tenma giving you the middle finger. And this is one of her YouTube emotes, I believe. Another fat you card. This is the best reference in the game so far. Depressed, single, divorced fathers. Tenma doesn't want to make them better. She wants to make them worse. Tenma loves strong, muscly men, and she's very horny. Look at that art, it's absolutely outrageous. Another one. And now we have the full art Saturn cards. Moldy Bread, Continued Gameplay, Instant Replay, Rage Game, Big Cheese, Watch Along, Birthday Special, Let 'em Cook, Hype, Royalty Song, Origins Videos, Courtroom Roleplay, Mukbang ASMR, Microphone Upgrades, In Character, Confessional Stream, Succumb to Cringe, and Mama Cameo. You can see the art on these ones is more zoomed in. So what do I think about the gameplay? Most matches feel close, your decisions matter, and the deck building process is engaging. Every deck released so far has plenty of scope for experimentation and plays differently. Like in any card game, breaking can happen, but it's not as oppressive as in other card games. If you have an excellent opening hand, you're going to be in a position of strength. However, this game is a lane battler. So when one lane is taken by a player, all of the content cards, which kind of function as your monster cards, get discarded. You don't need to be a VTuber fan or necessarily know the IP to enjoy the game, but it does enhance the experience if you do. The objective of the game is to gain 1 million subscribers. You achieve this by clashing your persona, which is your deck leader, against your opponent. Each persona deck contains a strategy familiar to other trading card game enjoyers: aggro, control, machine, etc. The rules for the deck builder are very simple to follow. Your deck can only contain cards that match the colour of your persona, or they match the type. So Pippa decks can only contain red cards or cards of the Zatsudan type. There's a deceptive amount of depth involved in the deck building process. You'll very quickly run out of space as you struggle to balance the power, economy and drawability of the deck. Even though the decks have a clear way they're meant to be played, it's still a challenge to determine how you want to aggro your opponent with something like the Pippa deck. You can opt for shenanigans that allow you to contest multiple platforms at once, hoping to overwhelm your opponent before they can stabilize the lost clashes, or you could opt for sheer power over a smaller number of high subscriber count platform cards and gamble they don't have an answer. You clash over platform cards which are worth a certain amount of subscribers. To make this more complicated, many platform cards have a certain number of clashes that you need to win in order to claim it, as shown by the blue star value here. Some of the platform cards contain special effects called clash rewards, which give you a bonus if you win the clash. This could be currency, free card deployment, card removal or card draw. Each player chooses the platform cards they bring into the game in their own mini deck, which adds another layer of strategy to the game. Do you want to bring platform cards with economy boosts, control characteristics, or low requirements to win so you can quickly build subscribers? A platform card you bring to the game might easily be used against you if you're unable to achieve dominance over it. Some of the platform cards have special features like independent. There are cards in the game that have bonus effects if deployed on platforms with these certain features, so there's also the possibility of trying to achieve synergy by deploying specific platform cards. The player who goes first gets to decide which side the clashes begin during the clash phase of the game, which adds a great deal of tactical depth to the game. If you don't think carefully about which side you start from, your opponent could benefit from a clash reward, which may provide them with money or card draw, or card removal, which they can then leverage to win clashes over the following platform cards in that phase. If you chose the other side and denied them that opportunity from the opening phase of the clash, that could turn a free platform card loss for you to a multiple platform clash win. Overall, it has a solid design from the top down. It's not like Pokemon, but with VTubers. It's a unique card game, which has clearly been highly playtested. It's designed by Justin Gary, the pro Magic the Gathering player, who has also made some card games himself through his own company. I would say the game is quick and easy to pick up and play, but deep enough that there'll be a massive skill gap between the top players and the average player. RNG will will be a factor in the game. However, I do think that skill and intelligence will play a larger part in outcomes than some other trading card games, which might not necessarily be a good thing depending on your point of view. The casual player will suffer a frustrating experience against those on a higher experience level. Despite that, I do appreciate that the game actually allows you to play it, and at the moment it doesn't contain much in the way of mega combinations or super overpowered signature cards that basically determine game over by turn 2 or 3. We'll see how that develops over time. Games normally last a long time depending on the experience levels of the player. I find games can easily take 30 to 40 minutes on average. It could last as long as an hour if it's a very close game. So if you are going to play a best of 3, some endurance will be required. I find some of the wording on the cards and effects to be confusing at times, arguably too vague. I think some of that just comes from the fact it's a new game, so we're not familiar with the systems and terminology yet, but that will build from experience. However, there's a fair few cards with a function that is contrary to the general rules of the game, and a few cards which I think can cause a massive amount of confusion. For example, normally you can only discard cards from your hand at no cost. But then you take a look at this Uwu card and it's like, move your persona? Move where? And when exactly can I move it? Do I have to play it first or do I discard it straight from my hand? Yes, by the way, I do understand how this card works, but newer players will struggle to grasp these concepts. We've also got cards such as this one. Does the influence buff remain permanently, or are you expected to remember to add and remove the bonus when the conditions are met on a constant basis? There are other things that can easily catch you out, or maybe you'd forget about. For example, this Confessional Leah card, which will give you a +4 influence bonus for 1 round after playing it. If this card is still in play the next round, then you'll need to remember to remove that influence buff, which is very easy to track in a digital game like Hearthstone, which tracks the rules for you. However, on Tabletop Simulator or in person, people are inevitably gonna forget and miss that without assistance, particularly over a very long game. And finally, I'd say the references in the game towards the VTubers are incredible and do an excellent job at reinforcing that connection between fan and Oshi. And it can also advertise the VTubers to players who've never heard them before, as they're essentially mini pieces of lore. Originally, I only bought Oshi Push just to collect the cards for cool art and references to Phase Connect, but I'm really enjoying the actual game quite a lot. The game is one of the more expensive trading card games on the market, and depending on where you live, shipping can be an issue. However, overall, I'm genuinely surprised at how fun and engaging it is. It's genuinely quite a high quality product, and it's not a simple cash grab like some of the other games out there. I'm a Japanime Games affiliate, so I have a vested interest in supporting the game. However, from an ethical standpoint, I would never knowingly support a company or a project unless I genuinely liked it and would use it myself. Hence why this channel has been ad-free up to this point. Now, I would support this project for free even if I wasn't in the affiliate program, and this comes from my first impressions of the game and has been reinforced in my dealings with the Oshi Push team, particularly after asking a few questions about why they decided to create it. That said, I do have some minor concerns and criticisms that I'll go over in just a moment. So, let's start with the good things. Despite being produced by a company, you can tell this game is a passion project from the team making it, particularly for Akiko, the VTuber representative of Japanime Games, who serves as the VTuber cultural expert, and she made the pitch in the first place. This is important because the project is not just a simple cash grab. Through the exploitation of an IP, we now live in an age of algorithms, grifting, and anything for content to get that bag. Unfortunately, this leads to situations where companies and influencers exploit their branding to flog slop to fans of that IP. What gives me confidence in this project is that you can tell it was designed by one of us. They get it, and they respect it. So let's go over those questions. My first question was, why did you choose Phase Connect for your first collab set? The response was, in our initial scouting, we had reached out to hundreds and hundreds of potentials for our launch point. This process took a fair bit of time, as you know the response times may vary. As we continued discussing the project with different groups, Phase Connect was a group who, from the very beginning, was willing to jump with us with no hesitations. I was already a Phase Connect fan and love how free-spirited they felt. My only concern was if the rest of my team was prepared to handle the level of unhinged nature I knew they were capable of. Regardless, I think the biggest push was the level of trust they put into us was the biggest deciding factor. They've been really great collaboration partners throughout the process and as we navigated the trading card game development process. The second question I asked was, who does the research for the cards? Is it just yourself, or is there a team working on it? So the response was, my handler and I are the primary researchers for the card contexts. She works with the game devs and communicates with licenses, and she works with my VTuber knowledge. I spend countless hours watching FaZe Connect clip after clip in order to source my references. I wanted something that their communities could feel akin to. In the VTubing streaming communities, a lot of great moments are clipped and shared, because someone liked that moment and they wanted to share that great moment with others. I wanted our card game to be another level of capturing and sharing those great moments too. Of course, being the launch set, some cards are still foundation based cards to build an ecosystem on top, but we tried our best to put in as much FaZe Connect soul into the game. The third question, I asked why VTubers or a VTuber card game. Akiko's response was, VTubing has been a big part of my life for the last 5 years or so. When I first discovered VTubers, I actually never watched live streams. I still don't really watch live streams and prefer to listen to VODs or watch clips. However, I did acknowledge the depth of connections that was developed between VTubers and their communities. Japanime Games specializes in anime and Japan-inspired tabletop games. I also worked on a trading card game with my previous cafe, so I guess it was all fresh in my mind and made sense to me when I pitched the game concept forwards. Similar to how you can find your favorite Pokemon card through pulling cards, my original aspiration for the game was to provide another outlet of discoverability for VTubers to eventually try to carry as many VTubers as possible that people can discover. Maybe a content card makes them laugh and they want to know more context. By searching for this context, they may find a new Oshi. In fact, many of the artists we've been working with have admitted to now becoming new fans of FaZe Connect after working on the art for us. There's a moment I hold on to strongly in my mind as a huge driving force of what I hope to accomplish. I believe it was in Off-Kai Gen 2 where I met someone who was a huge supporter of their Oshi. They glowed and beamed so much admiration for this VTuber and really wanting them to grow and succeed. They told me they bought 100 times of the same button merch just to show their support and to spread that support. They also handed out some of this merch for others to discover. I dreamed of a scenario where this person could play a deck of their Oshi and go toe to toe with other VTuber decks regardless of size and be able to stand their ground on an even playing field, where they could also use the cards themselves to show how great their Oshi was, win tournaments in honor of their Oshi with that said deck. That was the amount of passion I saw and hoped could be facilitated. And then the final question I asked was, what makes Oshi Push special over other card games? Akiko's response was, I believe something that makes Oshi Push special over the other games is the level of care for theming. Coming from a tabletop background, theming was very important for lots of board games. The first original pitch was to be a card battler, which is traditional for most TCGs. But as I explained the world of VTubing more and more to the company, they were able to pull from that and make something truly unique. The building blocks are based in the VTubing experience and making that competitive. A lot of attention to detail was put into the game that I hope people will really appreciate. We cared really strongly about the gameplay and the talents we were representing in the game. We hope the amount of references sourced into the game would bring those communities together because they understand the reference or inside joke. Whilst my goals are quite lofty, my overarching goal whilst working on the game is that this game is able to bring people together. And later on she says that I, more than anyone, really can't wait for the game to come out. I want to see people having fun with the game. It's my payoff for working on this project. There have been controversies with the game, mostly around the pre-debut art situation and the communication issues. One thing I appreciate is that they do actually read the comments from the Kickstarter page and the Japanime Games Discord. They say they discuss it in meetings to determine their best course of action, although it can take some time before a response is made. However, one thing that bothered me about the project was the communication around the pre-debut versus retail card art situation, which led to massive outrage, particularly on the game's Kickstarter. To summarise, there was a campaign to reveal never-before-seen cards to generate hype for the game. This then brought attention to the fact that there was going to be 2 variants of card art for approximately 1/4 of the cards produced so far. So people who bought into the game early were going to be stuck with licensed and draft card art that many perceived to be inferior quality to the retail edition of the card. Naturally, many felt cheated by this move, particularly as this wasn't communicated ahead of time. Now, from a business perspective, I understand why they did this. They've licensed the art they need to sell, they need to offer a value product to retailers, and they need to provide a proof of concept to get the continued support for the project from Japanime Games executives. So they need to gain as much money as possible. And the project manager came out to explain their rationale, as seen in this screenshot here. At first, when this news broke, I was surprised myself, as I'd never backed a card game still in its inception phase before. The initial attitude was one of, well, this is to be expected from a brand new card game, and at the time I thought that was an unreasonable expectation of consumers, and I was disappointed by the attitude. So I did voice my concerns directly to the Oshi Push team that once word got out about the differences, people were going to be pissed, and the best policy would be to be honest and upfront with people now, rather than let them discover it on their own once the product is in their hands. And I wasn't alone in this criticism. Some of the other affiliates supported a more pro-consumer stance. What did impress me is that after a couple weeks of internal discussion, they did decide to go above and beyond in fixing the issue, so that everybody who backed now gets the higher quality art for free, and it comes with the exclusive pre-debut stamp. Now, I don't think the feedback from the affiliates is what led to the decision. I imagine it was a greater community backlash. So fair play to the Oshi team for fixing things. However, it's a bit disappointing that it had to come to the community backlash before they made the right decision. What didn't impress me in the early days of the drama is that the fans in the Japanime Games Discord clearly and reasonably outlined they didn't care about how rare or exclusive the early card art was. They just wanted the new higher quality art and felt cheated. Despite this, there was much back and forth from official Japanime Games staff implying that they should be happy because it's rare and will be worth more than the retail edition versions of the card. What I didn't appreciate about this is the fact that they weren't properly listening to the feedback from people, and there was an intent to placate people with a promise that wasn't necessarily true. There's no guarantee that these cards will be worth anything, and if they are, it's likely to be years in the future, which isn't useful to people now, particularly if they don't care to resell the cards. However, as one user in the Japanime Games Discord said themselves, communication can sometimes be an issue with the company, but in the end, they do eventually get things right. There have been multiple delays in the project. Not all of them are the fault of Oshi Push. The tariff situation, for example, has put a spanner in the works. So things are behind schedule by quite a few months, but it's important to note that the Oshi Push team is very small, so they are constrained by their busy schedules. I do trust the team. They want to see a competitive scene develop and care about the longevity of the game, which is why I've been very patient with the project. So with that in mind, I'm really excited for the full release of the game, and I hope things will just improve and get better from here. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I'm looking forward to the full release of the game, and I'm currently working on getting tournaments organised within the FaZe community, starting with a tournament between the FaZe Connect Clippers, who will each represent their Oshis, and battle to see who will come out on top. I think that'd be a fun and draw engagement from people. If you want to buy some of the physical cards, you can see my affiliate link in the description below, and using that would really help out the channel. Take care, thank you very much. I love you, my lovely boys.